California, why they hating though? Cause I'm up now when they upset that I'm hot now like a pizza roll. Don't need it on me, but I keep it on me, but I keep it low. Keep it on, cause I'm making moves like a pick and roll. Got me cooking up, no kitchen stove, yeah, I'm getting paid. Got the bag on me, no bank robber.
Hey, yo, what's good with everybody, man? I hope everybody's having a productive day, feeling blessed, and like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. So a lot of people brought it up to my attention. I seen it a while back. I didn't really think too much of it. Didn't really read into it like everybody else did. But, you know, throughout time interacting with people, they kind of give me the perspectives and I put them all together. I'm like, you know what? Now I can create a video about it. Because sometimes I just look at something at face value and I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. You know, I understand it. Rowdy Rax went on a podcast and he basically, and trust me when I say this, man, I've been slapping Rowdy Rax like at least once or twice a day. That Groovy with him and G Perico. You know, it's a slapper. It's an anthem. Everybody, it's a trending song on TikTok. So go slap it, bro. I ain't biased to nothing, really. Even though I did hear about a southern rapper asking permission to do a diss song about me and he got denied. And I do know that the Northerners already did a diss song about me. Didn't really mention my name per se. I'm like, man, like, why would you even waste money like that? Don't worry about me. I'm just doing me. That's it. Plain and simple. So he said that he was open to collabing with a Norteño. And that, you know, he wasn't just going to be just something they do just to kind of kill the noise. Because, you know, everybody right now is in a 2024 competition of who could drop the best diss song on each other. You got Lefty Gunplay with Blueprint. You got Rico Too Smooth with Keeping It Real. And if you listen to that song, Keeping It Real, he said some facts that, you know, it's no longer my argument. Would have been back then if I was still identified as a Northerner. But he spit some facts in there. So now I'm just watching it like, all right, you know, let's see who wins. Lazy Boy. Now Lefty came out with a new song dissing Lazy Boy. Bluebird came out. I'm like, all right, this is what we're doing. This is as far as we're gonna reach, is clapping at each other on social media. No, but hey, at least I think to me it's better than you know, clapping at each other with pistols on the streets. These rappers could be doing that and throwing their lives away and just gunning each other down. Instead, they want to just, you know, fortune and fame, competition. If it's going to be a competitive nature, then let them fight it out when it comes to lyricism. So Rowdy Rax said he was open to it and that he liked Rico Too Smooth style. Eventually, you know, it reached to Rico Too Smooth and he immediately denied it, saying too much blood has been shed for us to do that. So in my head, I'm like, bro, you guys are still stuck in the 90s and 2000s and it's 2024. Like, look past that. I don't even think it's on the basis of that statement that too much blood was shed. I'm like, no, bro. To be honest with you, I think it's just your homies influencing your decision making. And it's the people that you're collabing with that are firm believers, that are still connected and still have their political ties with the penal system that are in your ear. And if you're that kind of person that you're going to allow other people to make decisions for you, because in reality, all right, man, if you guys don't want peace treaty on the streets, then so be it. Collabing with an artist, what does that do to the peace treaty on the streets? How is you collabing with Rowdy Rax going to prevent all these Northerners that stand with the state or stand with the feds and say, and are against the peace treaty, are going to say, hey, man, well, Rico did a song with Rowdy Rax. I might as well put the gun down. I might as well just let it be, bro. You know, we're stopping it right now, bro. No more bloodshed, bro. Let's just go tie our rags together. No, that's not even the case. This statement, too much blood has been shed. If you really think about it, who instigated the war? Who started the war? What is the war based on? What is the war actually based on? Everybody can elaborate on the shoe war. Even if that's true, and since that's part of Norteño education and Norteño history, the 1968, 1950s, where they talked about the shoe war, Robert Salas, and the boots being stolen. So you mean to tell me that for the past 60, 70 years, we're willing to kill each other over some boots that got stolen from prison? Over some boots that criminals were going to take anyways because criminals were criminals? A lot of them dudes were in there for burglarizing, bank robbery, killing each other, dope, PCP labs. You guys are willing to throw your life away 70 years later like I did for 15 years on some bloodshed that took place in 1968 and 1972? Everything that's going on in the 70s and 80s that none of us were even born to even know what was going on, that we didn't even know was existing at the time. we're going to base the concept of that we can no longer get along and identify each other as, Mexicans, Latinos, Chicanos, Mexicanos, on the basis that what happened in 1968, these fools couldn't get along and broke off from each other and started stabbing each other over arrogance and power and control of a penal system. We're going to continue to be divided off that. And then you're going to make a statement like too much blood has been shed. Bro, have you done any of that bloodshed? Are you solely responsible for a certain amount of that bloodshed? Because the bloodshed that we can talk about after the 90s, what does it say after the 90s, between North and South, instigating between North and South, have you personally been a part of that bloodshed? Have you personally instigated the bloodshed? Matter of fact, have you did time for any of that bloodshed? Because that's the only time that bloodshed is really acknowledged, is when you went to the penal system for it. So a lot of norteños that are in the penal system for killing Southerners, why don't you ask them the same question? Now that there's a peace treaty and they get to go bust spreads with Southerners and they can get to sell up with Southerners and they can never ever stab a Southerner again a day in their lives because of this peace treaty that's going on in the States. Ask your homies how they feel about it. See, you don't want to collab with a Southern rapper because too much blood has been shed, but your big homies in the penal system stop the bloodshed from continuing over power, control, money, and cell phones on the yard and dope. They managed to find a resolution. So your homies that made them same sacrifices that went to the penal system are doing life without the possibility of parole. Got to sit there and bust spreads with a Southerner. Got to sit there and, make pruno with a Southerner. Get tattooed by a Southerner. Walk the yard with a Southerner. Play handball with a Southerner. Play basketball. And yet, you can't just make a simple song. That's the simple-mindedness that's going to prevent growth, progression, and expansion and networking for your own people. Plain and simple. I listen to Bozo talk every now and then when somebody sends it to me. It's only when people send it to me I actually review this kind of content. I kind of just stay away from it. And, he's always talking about the Northerners will never be like the Southerners. The Southerners are in Hollywood. The Southerners are in movies. The Southerners get scripts written about them. That the Northerners are far behind. Well, maybe the Northerners are shooting themselves in the foot. Because they're so biased and they're so negative and they're so guarded with, we don't want to collab with Northerners. But we don't want to collab with Southerners. But you're taking the necessary steps and approach. Even though it's a good look and even though it's opening up doors of opportunity, what you guys are doing now, the Southerners have done already. So even though it looks like a good look and it's progress and it's opening up doors of opportunity, you're following the same footsteps that your big homies do in the penal system. Because everything about the NF and all their new laws, policy, procedures, the way they think, it all stems from people that used to be Mexican Mafia members, brought that same belief system, created the NF. And the NF has followed the Mexican Mafia's footsteps for a very long time. I can sit here and point out different aspects about it that'll open up everybody's eyes. But according to this man, too much blood has been shed. Don't you think that's a statement that could be used both ways? As a matter of fact, too much blood has been shed. Let's stop it. Maybe this might stop it. Maybe you might. See, the thing is about this, and somebody had a talk with me about this, and it opened my eyes a lot. Can't tell you about the subject matter, but he said, man, the only people that are actually considered factors in the movement, whether it's the Norteño cause, Norteño struggle, or the NF, is people that made movements behind it. Is how you're considered a factor into this movement. If you haven't made no movement behind being involved as a Norteño, as a Sureño, as a big homie, then all you are is just identified as a gang member and a criminal. Because there's movements that have been made, this ceasefire, this peace treaty, making Norteño music. There's people that are responsible for making differences and creating something that caused waves within the movement of your people. Why can't you be one of those pinnacles of excellence? Why can't you be that great example and be that leader and say, you know what, I'm going to be the first one to collab with a Southerner and show that it can be done, show that we can actually take our talents from the streets instead of just being known as trigger pullers and gunners and shooters. Hey, man, we can actually put our differences aside and make music, and we both can make streams. Because I guarantee you, he could make a song with Rowdy Rax, get the streams and get that dude's audience to blow up his streams. Now you got two different fan bases. Now you got double the income coming in, but nobody wants to think about the income. So what are you really rapping for if you're not in it for the money? All this on the basis that too much blood has been shed? Did you even know any of the carnales that died on the tier by the hands of the Mexican Mafia in the 70s? Or have you ever even met, wrote a letter, or even talked about in the past 5-10 years any of the NF members that made sacrifices and killed Mexican Mafia members in the 60s and 70s? No, it's just something written on a piece of paper and that was taught to you and made you believe that, hey man, we're known to fight wars against these guys. Continue it. Because that's the only way this bloodshed could ever be acknowledged, is if you're the one that's actually contributing to the bloodshed and made it to the penal system. Because those are the only Norteños that are actually acknowledged and addressed as Norteños, because they made it to the penal system for shedding blood on behalf of the Norteño cause and struggle against Southerners. So if you're not the one doing it, you can be in no way, shape, or form can you say, hey man, too much blood has been shed. Because you're not a part of that. You're making music, continue to make music. Utilize this music to do something good and something great. And I bring that up because, I heard somebody told me something the other day. I still try to push my music. I told myself, it means 37, 38, 39. Once I'm 40, if I don't make it big and I don't make that one hit, because a hit's a hit. Plain and simple, a hit's a hit. But I got every right to chase my dream, regardless how people feel, regardless how people think, regardless how people hate me. Nobody's going to collab with me in California, so I'm going to take it elsewhere. I'll probably go to Texas. I'll collab with somebody in Florida. I don't care how much I got to pay for it. I'll get it done. But, I don't get that opportunity like these guys. I have to build my fan base from the ground up. I just didn't come on the internet and say, hey, bro, I'm a Norteño, bro. Come bump my music. And all Norteños from Northern California said, hey, but let's go check it out. It's a homie. It's a homie. Let's give him a chance. Because that's the only way these guys get opportunities, because they identify themselves as gang members. So now I'm doing it from the approach now that I'm just me. I'm just a regular civilian. I'm a YouTuber making good music, making great music, trying to make it in life. At least I have the opportunity and I have the energy and I have the strength and belief system that I can chase a dream. Even if I falter on it, or even if I don't make it, I still chase the dream. And yet these guys are only basing their music on the basis of their people. But all that saying that too much blood has been shed, and all you see when Southerners are dissing Northerners and Northerners are dissing Southerners in raps, is that the only thing that's important to you besides a bag, which pretty sure you're not getting a bag because you're reducing your chances and opportunities to even get a bag by not networking and collabing and going and performing down south and then performing up north, is that gang politics are more important than music, are more important than your money, are more important than your own success, because you're too busy stuck in the gang politics. When you got music videos outlining the peace treaty agreement and the whole music videos on the basis that we stand against the peace treaty, bro, if you want to continue to see your people dying, because we all know Northerners are still getting gunned down in Northern California, and Northerners are only beefing with Southerners in Northern California, but not Southern California. You don't really... When's the last time you heard of a case law or a trial where Norteños said, you know what, we're going to LA today, bro, we're going to gun down 10 Southerners, bro, just show them that, we're Northerners, we're Norteños, bro, we can beef with any Southerner. When's the last time you seen that? So if gang politics are that much more important to you, then why are you even doing music in the first place? To look good? To get some extra cooter by some groupies? To put on for your neighborhood? What is that going to get you, and where is that going to get you out of? That limitation alone. Because obviously your music's on the basis of gang politics and what these dudes in the penal system are thinking, and are having you think outside those walls. And you're not even in those walls to even understand the gang politics, support it, and actually influence those same politics on the streets. You just going off what you've been hearing, off the filters you're reading, off the hearsay that's coming out of the penal system. If gang politics are so important to you, then best believe you're not going to make it nowhere in life. Because the harsh reality of it is, you want to do the basis of too much bloodshed, too much blood has been shed. Well, guess what? Bloodshed leads to more bloodshed. So the more you instigate it, and you want to be in a music video and you're doing music and you're doing shows, instigating bloodshed through your music and your lyrics, it's your homies dying, or it's your own little homies going to jail for life. So you're only instigating more bloodshed by continuing to promote bloodshed and acknowledging that too much blood has been shedded to ever have a peace treaty or ever collab with another individual that's considered an opposition. Just contributing to the cycle of bloodshed anyway, so why even acknowledge that too much blood has been shed when you're instigating the bloodshed anyways? It's like you want to see your homies dying. You want to see your homies die for the cause. You want to see your homies get locked up for the cause. Because as long as there's no peace treaty, then your homies are going to be gunning Southerners left and right. So all you're doing is digging a grave for them. Whether they die or whether they go into the penal system of life and die in there slowly, you're just doing it to your own homies. So you don't think about your homies like that, because gang politics are too important to you. Because I read a comment and it tripped me out that what somebody said. He's like, hey, bro, if you really think about it, Sureños kill more Sureños than Norteños kill Sureños. And I was like, oh, damn. And he was talking about in Southern California. And I was like, damn, that's a great topic. That's a sensitive one too. Like I can't even begin to even elaborate on that subject, because whoever that person was said it, and he was a Southerner that said it. He was like, bro, what I got from that comment is, bro, what do you even care about the bloodshed between Northerners and Upstaters when we kill each other more than you guys ever kill us? So what does it really matter? And there was nothing I could say and think about and even elaborate on camera about that comment, because the comment speaks for itself. But I'll end the video on this note, on a positive note. One dude left a comment that stuck with me, and I know some people might take this offensive, and I don't mean it to be offensive. I'm just saying what other people said. That's all I'm saying. Somebody said Latinos need to stop acting like the blacks when it comes to this. That we just want to continue to fight each other and smoke each other and kill each other over colors. And dude, I knew what he was saying. It's something that I would never say, period. Because, you know, everybody was pointing out, hey, if the Crips and Bloods can do it, how come the North and South can do it? Bro, Mexicans are always going to be Mexicans. They're always going to beef with each other over something that happened in 1950 and 1968 through 1972. Northerners and Southerners are still killing each other for people that are already dead, that are already passed away in the penal system, that are no longer living and breathing, just talked about on YouTube and published in books. You're killing for people that are not even doing any killing anymore. You're killing for people that never made nothing of themselves other than a prison gang and died in prison. That's what you glorify, and that's what you want to continue this bloodshed on the basis of people that had nothing else to do, nothing else to live for besides prison power. And were willing to kill each other over, what, PCP? A pipeline of drugs in jail? These guys literally killed each other over prison yards, over prison bars, over prison tables, over power to control the black market of the drug trade. And 70 years later, too much blood has been shed. We're going to continue to kill each other over people that are no longer here no more. That's crazy, right? That's why I say, man, you know, I don't think there's going to be any progression if people continue to live like this and think like this, that gang politics are more important than success. So I wanted to leave it on that note. So with that being said, like I always say, is one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. Peace.